Welcome back, everybody, to the Fighting for Freedom podcast. I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your love and support. You guys have helped this channel grow dramatically. If you could please, at this time, drop us a like, comment, subscribe, share our podcast, turn on those bell notifications, and leave us a rating and good review. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Fighting for freedom, one podcast at a time.
Yeah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode on the pod. Today I got another fellow podcaster that honestly seen on social media, reached out, and I was like, honestly, dude, I'd be honored to have you on my podcast. He was like, for real? And I was like, yes. Everybody, Freedom Empire, let me gladly introduce Fino to you guys. What up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, bro? Feeling good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. I got nothing else better to do, and literally, like I started this podcast because everyone has a story, whether it's the most boring story in the world or you're a Chris Kyle, right? I like to focus on the boring stories, on the everyday Joes. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
100%, bro. I seen what you've been doing. I don't think you get enough credit for the things you're doing on social media and for your podcast. So I want to take my community and have them show you love as well and bring you into my community, if that's quite all right with you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. 100%.
Of course, bro. Of course. The military is like somewhat of a brotherhood, right? Like you meet people from all over the world. You get stuck on 16, 12-hour watches with them. And what the hell can you do? You know, you can only play Flappy Bird and Temple Run for so long before you get so bored. So 100%, bro. I want to give a chance for you to come on, Fino, tell his story and what you're doing to change our community, man.
So appreciate it, Vinny. Again, thank you for having me on. And you kind of gassed me up with the what I'm doing on Instagram, man. So just I'm a realist, right? I'm the type of guy who like to keep it real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people, so far in my career. I'm still young in my career. For the ones who don't know, I'm Air Force. So I'm still young in my career. I've only been in it'll be 5 years in February. So there's still a lot of things that I am learning. But so far, what I have learned is that one thing you can always do is keep it real. You know what I mean? Always keep it real with your people. I feel like that, not solely in the military, but just in general in life, like a lot of people focus so much on product and they forget about the people who make the product. And many of the times people are the product, because if you don't have good people to help you out when you need them, it's like you're going to crash and fail anyway. So man, I just do videos, just kind of like, I don't want to say expose it, expose bad things, but kind of be like, well, from my perspective, if I was doing this, if this happened to me, here's how I would do it. Or if this was happening to me, I'll do it this way, just, I don't know, just keep it real, man. Just,
100%. But low key, like, I'm the one person that's seen, like, let's just say I'm the only person in the world who's seen one of your videos. But that also gives me the inspiration and kind of the thought of like, yo, I'm kind of going through the same shit. So like, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm glad I seen this video because he going through the same shit in a different branch of service in a different country, wherever the hell you are. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing, bro. You can't change the world overnight, but you can change it one day at a time.
Appreciate it, bro, man. 100%,
yeah,
man.
100%. So,
man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, for real. I'm curious, what got you into this whole, just trying to be a leader, trying to be a podcaster?
Man, so I want to say back in 2020, during the pandemic, during COVID, wasn't nobody doing anything, right?
Nope.
So everybody was locked down, and I started making funny videos. You know what I mean? Like taking the topic and trying to be funny with it. I mean, it was cool. It was cool. It was all right. It kind of helped me show my creative side, but I kind of didn't feel authentic. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I like having fun. I like being funny, but I also like talking. I like talking a lot. You know, and
Yeah,
sometimes talking about stuff I shouldn't talk about, right? I'm gonna leave that
that's
one alone.
okay. Yeah.
So so I started doing that back in 2020, and I kind of stopped, right? I kind of dropped it. It's like I'm not getting traction that I want. I'm not really, getting the engagement that I want. So I kind of left it alone, and I left it alone for about a year, maybe a year and some change.
Damn.
Because I had moved to a different place, so I kind of fell to the back. And then I want to say early 2023. I kind of got another inspiration because I was going through some things in my workplace, and mentor. I got me a mentor, and he was kind of able to sit me down and talk to me. He's like, "Hey, I understand that you're going through this, but I also went through this." And I asked him, like, "We're going through the same things, and I'm sure that there are other young military members who go through these things, and they don't have the opportunity to talk to a mentor like you.
Hmm.
Like they might not have that, but they might not have those good people around them. You know what I mean? Like how come? So I asked him, how come you don't start making videos to helping people out? Then he was like, well, that's not really my strong point. How about you do it? No, you like to talk. You're more sociable and things like that. How come you don't do it? How come you do it? You don't do it. So I kind of thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He's right. So I started doing it like in February, stopped again because again wasn't really getting that traction. Then I kind of
Hmm.
picked it back up in like this past September, and I told myself I'm gonna give it a year. For a whole year, I'm just gonna go all out, focus on it, and put my all into it. And just ever since this past September, man, just been going at it, uploading
Damn,
anything I can
that's
think
crazy,
about.
dude. Yo, we low key. You took that break, but you started the same time I started. I posted my first podcast on September 11th because that's like a
Wow.
sentimental. That's like a really important day for me because being from New York, I'm even wearing a New York Yankees jersey. Shout out Derek Jeter if you're listening. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, so I knew like I had the idea that I wanted to do something to kind of help the military community, and then also for the civilian side, like give them a chance to listen to the average Joe's story on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no matter who you are, no matter what street you walk down, we all walk down the same street in different shoes. So,
For sure. For
hundred
sure, bro.
percent. So
And it's like,
I'm curious. Oh no, go for it. Go for it. Continue.
oh no, you go ahead. Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say to piggyback off what you were just talking about. How important do you think having a mentor is when you first join the military?
Scale of 1 to 10 is 15, right? You might not be able to get everything that you need from your supervisor. And it's not because he's a bad supervisor. Maybe he just doesn't know, or maybe he hasn't been through those things or certain situations, right? So you
Hmm.
should always be seeking to get guidance from different places. It doesn't matter the race, age, or rank, or whatever. It's like you should always be seeking development. You
Hmm.
know, we should all be looking to grow as people. And I feel like if you talk to different people, you get different perspectives, and that's what makes the military great. Just the diversity of thought. And I mean, getting
Yeah.
different mentors is the epitome of that. Like, why would you not? Would be my question.
Yeah. It's like when you talk to somebody, like obviously like rank is kind of a thing, like that'll play into it a little bit. Not the whole mentor aspect, but like asking questions on the daily, like these people got shit to do, the higher rank they are, the more important their stuff is. You don't see their day to day. But me, for example, I had two mentors when I first joined the military. I had an E5, I was an E3, just brand new, right? I had an E5 and this was the complete opposite of me. He was a shooter back in spitting Southern boy, and I was just like, yo, this guy keeps it real. Like he would call me fat. He'd be like, you need to learn how to run faster. But I wasn't even fat. I was in shape. I just wasn't like as fast and as strong as him. So he was just like,
Right.
I'm gonna get you to where I'm at, and then when I'm gone, you're gonna do the same thing. So that's exactly what I did. I found this new troop, and when he first got in, he was in shape too. He can run perfectly fine, and I was just like, you're fat. You can't keep up with me. But mentally,
Yeah.
like I'm his mentor, right? So like I don't mean it in any like bad way, but it was like that understanding of I was like, nothing I say is personal. I'm just trying to make you be the best person you are. And he was just like, well, keep it going. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'll keep it going. You know what I mean? So like, he would hit me up and I would help him get like warfare devices, or I would help him study for tests, or just know like what materials you need to do, because our advancement's a little different, right? We have like our brag sheet and you have to spice up that brag sheet. And there's different ways to go about that. Now, if I'm
Yeah.
your mentor, I'm going to go above and beyond to take care of you. If you're in my squad, I'm going to do what I have to do. And if you have questions, I'll gladly ask them. But full circle back to what I was saying is I had an E5 mentor and I had an E8 mentor. And it wasn't just like a, hey, nagging them every day. Like I walked up to them and I was like, hey, like, I feel like you have a lot of knowledge that I want to learn. Would you like to be my mentor? Or is it possible for you to be my mentor? And right off that, they're like, no problem. Whatever you need, you let me know. And I was just like, damn, this is great. That helped me get to E5 in less than 3 years.
So
I'm actually, yeah. What's up, man?
So I got a question for you. So when you say young E3, right? So when you were seeking out these mentors, did you feel like kind of intimidated a little bit? Like, damn, I'm this E3 and man, there's this E8. Like, should I go up and say something? Like, should I like was there like an intimidation factor to it?
So you could kind of gauge the person, right? Like how like friendly they are, or how like down to earth they are. Like there's some like E8, E7 and above where they just look like GI Joe.
Yeah.
And that's intimidating. Where I'm like, oh, probably not gonna go as this guy. How to like run faster, you know what I mean? But you kind of gauge it off the person. It's not like you don't just walk in there and be like I want, and they're like, who the fuck, you kind of you get to know the person. They do things for you that you're like, wow. Like for example, the E8, right? As soon as I got there, I checked in March. In April, we went on deployment. So I'm brand new to the Navy, and they're like, we're going on deployment. I'm like, great. When? They're like, 2 weeks. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So we end up going on deployment, and this E8 comes up to me, and she goes, I'm telling all of you right now, if you get your warfare device, which, you wear in your uniform,
Yep.
good things will happen. And I'm like, okay. So 2 months, like the quickest I could possibly do it, I got my warfare device. And I was like, I got it. Now what? And that leadership at the time was like, good job. And I was like, what do you mean, good job? Like, you said good things are going to happen. Little did I know, they helped me pick up E4. And later in that deployment, they got me on a debt site to make $140 a day and send me to a country and go build elementary school and a small hospital for this country in the Philippines. And I was like, now I get it. I was like, if you just do what you're told, if you show up at the right place, right time, right uniform, and do what you're told,
Yep.
It'll definitely help out. So as soon as they told me, yo, like, do this, and I got you, I was like, okay. It didn't happen right away. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened eventually, and I was like, I get it. So when they tell you to do something, you should actually probably do it.
I mean, that's another thing I try to tell people, especially like the younger military members, right? I know it's easy to blame leadership, but you also got to look at yourself like, hey, did you do X, Y, and Z? No, well, that's probably why you're going through X, Y, and Z,
Yeah, exactly.
Call me crazy. What do I know, right?
yeah. Call me crazy.
What do I know?
Yeah, keep touching the fire. It won't burn you, So what about for you personally? How did you go about getting a mentor in the military?
Man, so it's crazy. So when I got to my first duty station, of course, when you first get there, your head's spinning, right? You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. You're like, everything's going fast, right?
Yep.
So I was actually there for almost a year before I got my first mentor. And it's crazy how it happened because I was at an event. They had some type of event at a football field. I forgot what it was, but I was there, right? So one of the speakers I've known we talked before, right? So he's up there doing his thing, and he said, "Hey," the speaker was like, "Hey, I just want to give a shout out to one of my guys that's in the crowd. He's from Louisiana. I'm from Mississippi, so we got that southern tie right there,
yeah,
right?
You got that crawfish bond.
Yeah. So after the event ended, it's funny. So again, keep in mind we're at a football field. He's at the bottom of the bleachers. I'm at the top. So he say that I jumped down the bleachers. I didn't, but I did run kind of quickly. So I ran to him like, "Hey, like, heard you from Louisiana?" Like, "Yeah, I'm from Mississippi." Oh, and then it just kind of started from there. He's like, "Hey, I just got here. Hey, come by my office. Let's talk." So I started going by his office, and we started having conversations, and it just relationship built from there. So everything just happened by chance. I can't really explain it. It's just
not at all. And for everyone listening, like, things like this, like Phil just said, it ain't gonna happen overnight, right? It took him a year for him to finally meet somebody. And you know what? When you sign your first enlistment, depending on what it is, it's gonna be probably minimum 4 years or
Yep.
maximum 6 years, depending on your job. So
Yep.
a year to find like the perfect mentor to kind of like, answer all of your dumb questions with like a smarter answer. Don't rush it. Trust me, don't rush it. A year in the military, that shit flies by.
Quick.
Yeah. Flies
Quick.
by. Yeah. Remember when you were younger and like your grandma and your mom would be like, "Don't worry, you're gonna be old soon. Enjoy it while you're young." And you're like, "Nah, I'm only 18." Bro, I was 18 like fucking 22, like almost 12 years ago. That was crazy.
I'm paying bills, man. I got
Yeah.
responsibilities, got kids and
Yeah.
shit. Like, you never told me all this was gonna happen. Like, why
Yeah.
did you
So
warn me?
I gotta put my own IKEA furniture together. Some bullshit.
See, no, I'm not doing that. I always pay to have my furniture come in simple.
Good,
I'm
good,
not putting
good.
no type of furniture together. Nah, not
Yeah.
me.
In the words of the Air Force, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't
Have
doing
somebody else
that.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Have somebody else do it.
All right. So let's get into the kind of highs and lows, right? I'm sure in your career you've had plenty of highs and lows.
Oh yeah.
Probably some relatable ones, right? Now, a
Mhm.
relatable high for your career, right?
Mhm.
What would you say was one of your high moments?
Man, so one of my high moments. So there's a thing in the military called fast burners. Everybody should know about the people who make rank real fast, right? So, you know, in the in the Air Force, we got BTZ, we got things of that nature. Well, BTZ, it allows you to so on the rank of E4 6 months earlier than your peers, right? So,
Okay.
man, I got with my mentor. We was rocking and rolling. He was getting me hooked up with the right people. We were rocking. I got BTZ, and I was able to make E5 the first time because we have to do like
Oh
written
wow.
tests. We
Yes.
have to do written tests to make E5. So, yeah, man, I was killing it, man, rocking and rolling, and that kind of grows into my low moment. Um, when I had to leave, my first duty station where I was killing it, and I get to my next one, and it's like my mentor's gone. He's not there with me. And it's like we still keep in touch, of course, but he's not there to really influence me because, he's doing his thing. Now, he was an EA at the time. He had just made E9. So, he's doing his thing, and it's like I kind of felt alone, in my second
Mm-hmm.
duty station. And the office I was working in was, wasn't very military friendly because it was more civilians and military, and I kind of felt I don't know, I kind of felt out of place. And I'm sure there are a lot of people, young military members, young airmen, young seamen out there who kind of feel out of place where it's like you rocking it at one duty station and you get to the next one, it's like things aren't coming as fast or things aren't coming as easy. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, is it me? Like, am I doing something? Or
Yeah.
like, am I not working hard? Like, do I need to work harder? You know what I mean? So that'll probably be my lowest point, just kind of having that doubt. I started doubting myself a little bit more, and you know, it was rough times, rough times.
So to come back to it, you're high, right? Picking up
Yeah.
rank as fast as you did and all of that good stuff. What kind of path would you say you paved that someone else would be able to follow?
Oh, well, one of my biggest things is like one of my biggest saying is representation matters, right? So when I was in Japan, it was my first duty station. When I was in Japan, um, I had started my own like little mentoring program. And when I first got to Japan, I was young E3, like super young E3, fresh out of tech school, right? So, I had started my own mentoring program, and it's like before then, E3s wasn't doing that. It was a shut up in color, right? I'm sure
Yep.
you've heard the saying before, to shut up in color. But
Yep.
the fact that we got this young E3 just out here, he's trying to do his own thing, and he has his EA backing him. It's like people didn't see it. Now that caused a lot of issues. We can get into that later. But people really didn't see that. They didn't see a young E3 doing it, and I feel like once I started doing it, I saw a lot of other young airmen. Hey, I want to do this event. I want to put this on. I'm trying to go. Man, I had this thought that we can do this type of event, and I really started to see like the young airmen like kind of come together a little bit and kind of do their own thing. And
Yeah.
quick
Take
story
an
before
initiative.
yeah, quick story before we go on. So the reason I started the mentoring program, I started out of spite. Funny story. So,
I started out of
so,
spite.
so in Japan, they got this organization called the First Four. It might be the Rising Four at other places. It's basically a private organization for all the first four rank
Mhm.
in the Air Force, right? So they had one in Japan. So I had went to the meeting and I said I would like to run for one of the council, like president, vice president, treasurer. So I was like, I would like to run for a position, and they told me no, you can't run. Like, how come I can't run? Like, I pay my dues. Like, what do you mean I can't run? I like, no, we already got somebody who's going to fill that position. I'm like, did you guys already do the elections? Like, no, just know we already got somebody. Long story short, like the position I was trying to get it was being held by her homegirl. Like one of her homies was like holding the position for because she was gonna personally put her in that position. Like, you know what? Screw that. I was like, screw that. If y'all not gonna let me join, if y'all not gonna let me do what I do, I just do my own thing. And that's kind of how it came about.
Well, good
Completely out of
shit.
spite.
I'm
Completely
pretty
out of
sure
spite.
like that structured program that you left that they were in probably just coasted, just C's get degrees level. But what you did actually inspired a bunch of younger people to, one, take initiative, two, boost morale, and three, make your command like a better place, right? Because the higher rank you are, you kind of get put in these situations where it's like orders will come down and it's like, we need to do this. And you're like, I don't want to fucking do it. Got a wife and kid at home. My dog's shitting all over the floor. My kid pissing everywhere. I don't want to do a fundraiser right now. But when you got an E3, E4 living in the barracks and they're bored with their dumb up their ass all day, they're like, I got this. I need this. Like, I need something to do. So that's good, man. 100%. Shout out for that, man. That's real.
I think you will notice about me. I am I'm very vindictive. Like, if you promise me, it's gonna be promised. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm kidding. You can
Yeah. You don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Straight to jail. Yeah.
not getting out.
Okay, so now let's get into your low, right? When the ball is rolling, the ball is in your court. Now you go to the away team, and everything's brand new. Things are rolling the way that they normally are, and you jump into the mix, and you kind of feel out of place. How do you kind of transition yourself into coming over that feeling?
Man, so I lean very heavy into, you know, going back to the mentor. I lean very heavy into my mentor, my previous mentor. But again, like my previous mentor, it took me about maybe 6, 7 months to find me another one, you know, and just can't stress how important it is to have mentors, just talking to him, just explaining to him like, sir, like my last base, I was killing it, man. Now
Yeah,
when I get here, it's like I can't even hit a free throw. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I was giving you 40 points a game in my last base, but when I get here, man, I'm giving you 8 points, 2 rebounds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But he was able to like really sit me down and explain, and he said something that was really profound. He was like patience. It was just one word, patience. Patience. He was like, hey, when you first got in, you were like a rocket. You jet fuel, like you shot straight up. And now you got to maintain. You're the maintaining portion of it now. You got to figure out how to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he gave me some books, and he was a big book guy. He gave me some books, and he's like, "Hey, just read these. When you read them, come back, and we'll talk about them. Like, and we'll do that maybe about every month or so. Give me a book. I'll read some of the book. We'll talk about it. What you learn, what you think, what you got from this." And slowly, things started to get better. I started to
Mm-hmm.
find my place. I started to find my footing. You know what I mean? It's like, but it really took me, again, taking another leap of faith and just jumping out there and finding somebody else to talk to.
Yeah.
If I would have sat there alone and kind of like stewed a little bit, it would have got bad. I probably would have found myself, my career would have been affected terribly. But,
Yeah.
thankfully, I'm very personable and I like, talking to people. I was able to find somebody else and they was able to help me get me back on track.
Now, you said that he said that word to you, patience. You use that phrase a lot. Patience is key. What does that phrase, patience is key, mean to you?
Man, patience is key is like,
it's key.
It means that everything is not going to happen overnight.
Yes.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes, correct.
We live in a society now. Everybody wants things quick, right? Whether it's fast food, whether it's I see now, I'm on Instagram now, I see people trying to sell like these tech courses, like these tech boot camp courses, like you can learn this, you can make $1 million in 6 months. Like everybody wants things fast, but people don't understand anything worth having takes patience. You know what I mean? Like even relationships. Like it looks good. Like it looks great. Like people are living a fast life, going on all these trips, this and the third thing, but they can't handle monotony. They can't handle the slow pace. Like you got to know how to maintain. And patience is a big part of that. Things are not going to go your way.
Yep. You got to stop living in the fast lane every now and then. You know what I'm saying? You got to slow down. Take things with a grain of salt. It's like good things will happen. Patience is key.
I'll let you have it. Patience is key.
I like that. I've seen that, and I was like, everyone kind of has like their phrase that like they like, right? And now I know why patience is key, or the word patience is so sentimental to you, because it came from someone who you look up to as a mentor in your military career. Yeah, I kind of like how it maybe ties into the mental health aspect too, where you would have found yourself at the lowest of the low, but your outlet was this mentor and his kind of, release. Where it's, looking into reading books and just reflecting on things that you've learned to compare it to real life scenarios. That's dope.
When I found struggle busting, dog.
Yeah, dog, I mean everyone struggles. Everyone struggles. Whether you're a grunt in the Marines or you're a cook in the Air Force, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously we all go through different things, and I'm not trying to knock anything, saying like they don't do a harder job than anybody else, but everyone's brain works the same. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, no matter what, you got to find your outlet, and you got to take care of yourself, because no one will take care of yourself better than you. I love that.
Spoken like a true professional.
That was a good smile, bro. That was a good smile. I seen it go all the way from your cheekbones all the way up to your eyes. That was crazy. All right, so I want to get into another thing that you kind of specialized on and you kind of harped on that I was very intrigued about. I want to know, what do you mean by, military service members making more out of their career, i.e. money-wise, right? How to capitalize on your money while you're in the service. What do you have for me?
So, I'm a big college football fan, right?
Oh, so, God.
Now, this is how my mind thinks, right?
Nah, you good.
Walk with me, talk with me. All so, right. I'm a big college football fan, right? And one thing that they have are NIL deals, name, image, and likeness. Now, I know right now in the military we have our TSPs. I'm currently maxing out my TSP. Which, if you're not maxing out your TSP, I don't know what you're doing. This is literally money they will give you once you retire. Like, you need to come on now. Like, if you're not maxing out your TSPs, if you're not taking advantage of your investments, like, you're doing it all wrong. But to keep to the story, so I'm a big college football fan, right? They have NIL deals. So basically, an NIL deal is like they allow for these players to go out and make money off their name, image, and likeness. So I'm like, okay, how come the military can't develop? The military can do all these programs, right? How come they cannot develop some type of program where you hook up different military members to go speak with, to go pitch some products somewhere? Like, how come, you guys are good at PT. Hey, go to GNC and pitch these products and allow them to make money. Now, I know that they love to say, well, you shouldn't use your uniform to make money. You know what I know. The military has been using their uniform to make money ever since the military has been a thing and ever since Hollywood has been a thing. How many Hollywood movies have you seen that are based on military events, that have been shot on military bases with people in military uniforms that says U.S. Air Force or U.S. Navy on the name tag?
Yeah.
Which is fine. Get your money. Get your bread. But how come us as military members, we can't get a piece of that pie too. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I feel like they use us as recruiting tools, as money makers. I want a piece of that pie too. I feel like they should figure something out that we can get a piece of that pie too.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I mean, like, you know, like I'm doing something for 365 days a year for the next 5 years. Might as well like be able to. It's kind of nice too. Like even like when you like, you know, like to and from work, right? You can wear your uniform. When you
Right.
stop at when you stop at a store to get milk and eggs and bread for your family, that's perfectly fine. When you stop to get a haircut, that's fine. Now, when you wear your uniform and like, you know, wear it to a restaurant, go out to dinner, that's where we draw the line, right? But it's like if I'm using my uniform to, you know, go to, like you said, for example, a GNC and be like, yo, like, I don't know. I like where your head's at. I like where you're going with it. I feel like, yeah, if I do it on my free time and I get permission from like my command, then as long as we're all safe and everything's documented and we're covered, good to go. I honestly think that's a really good idea. Like we have recruitment events all the time. Like recruiters do it. So I guess you have to be a recruiter if you really wanted to like dig into that. But why can't I do it? Stationed at pick a base. Yeah, that's true.
Especially with all these bases. Like, I know right now in Colorado, all these space bases. Like, how come Space Force guy can't go down to, I don't know, Lockheed and Martin, be like, hey, this is what we're doing, advertise for them. Not only is Space Force getting advertisement, Lockheed Martin is going to get advertisement.
Yeah. And everybody loves the military.
And the Space Force member is going to get compensated. Like, it's a win-win. You don't lose.
No.
The military doesn't lose. You're not. I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't think the military would never lose. America loves the military. They like literally like there is nothing better than there's nothing more to America than a patriot. Everyone loves America. Everyone loves the military. So if the military is saying like, yo, like Copenhagen's really good, you'd be like, all right, bet I gotta give me some Copenhagen. That's who we should get the sponsors. We should get Copenhagen and Red Bull and Monster. That would flow. You know, I actually did hit up Monster to like be a sponsor of my podcast. Yeah, they said no. they were like, unfortunately, this is something would not be interested. I was like, that's all right. But if you don't shoot your shot, you know what I mean? Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I reach out to companies constantly. I'll send them like a handwritten letter with some fan mail and some stickers. And I'll just ask, be like, yo, like, hey, my name is Vinny. I don't want a sponsorship. I don't need money. You know, if you want to send me a sticker, if you want to put me on your page, if you want to just come on my podcast and tell your story and be my guest, that's the only sponsorship I really need. And some of it's actually worked out. Like, I'm actually doing a volunteer event this Wednesday to go clean up a veteran cemetery. I mean, we're not like cleaning gravestones and all that, but like, you know, raking leaves, and it'll be fucking cold as shit, but you know, it's just something fun to do. And now I met this veteran who has his own business, and we're gonna go freeze our asses up together and go clean this graveyard.
That's how you do it. You meet like-minded people. Like, that's how you do it.
Exactly, dude.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's literally what brought us together, is you having the balls one day to say, you know what, I want to do this podcast, and I'm actually going to do it. And then you jump back on it. I'm glad you did jump back on it, otherwise we wouldn't be here today. I'd be playing Call of Duty with my homie right now.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, man. You know, are you aware too that like service members can get second jobs while they're in the military too?
I am. Okay.
Yeah. So I did it too when I was strongly advised for any, you know, E4 and below. Even, I mean, it doesn't really matter what rank you are. If you want to get a second job, get a second job. You can get a second job as long as you route up like a second job request chit through your chain of command. And for the most part, they're like, yeah, sure, sounds great, fine, who cares? As long as it's not like, like a skydiving instructor. They'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna have it. You know what I mean? Like, no. So I want to be a doctor. Like, no, that's not gonna work. But when I was younger, I was just a E3 living in the barracks, just doing nothing with my life, making minimal money because I'm an E3 living in the barracks. by trade, I'm a plumber, so I was like, I want a second job. Like I am so bored. I am losing my mind. Every day, every weekend, I sit in the barracks room with my buddy in like a closet-sized Harry Potter room that we shared, and I was like, I want to do something. Like I want to get another job. I want to make more money. I want to capitalize on what the military is giving me and use it to my advantage.
Right.
So I went to Lowe's. And I went to Lowe's and I was like, hey, active duty. I'm stationed at this base down the road. My job in the Navy is a plumber. I want to work here. They were like, no problem. And I was like, that was pretty fucking easy. And I ended up working a week later. I worked in the plumbing and, I was a plumbing sales specialist. That was my job. Making like $17 an hour, working, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was getting in my hours. I was making bank. I was having fun. I was meeting new people. And it was kind of funny, too. Like, when I'd be working at Lowe's, like stocking shelves or helping customers. And, like, my chief would walk up. And he'd be like, Harem? I'd be like, what's up, chief? What do you need? You know what I mean? And they'd be like, what the fuck? You work here? I'm like, yeah, I live in the barracks. I got nothing else better to do. And just that instead, they were like, damn, like, good for you, man. Like, you're not, like, you staying out of trouble. You keeping your head high and you stacking your bread. I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing. I was like, I'm bored, man. Like, I like money. Money is green. And green's a good fucking color.
I used to work at Lowe's before I joined. I used to do I used to do furniture delivery.
Oof.
Like not furniture, like appliance delivery, like all the microwaves and things like that. I used to do that. And you'll be surprised. People come in, order like the big triple decker 85-foot refrigerators, right? Like this fucking big, right? Just stacked. And we'll get to their house and they live in a trailer. And like, they live in like a 1-bedroom trailer, the size of a broom closet. And then we'll get to the place, get to the house. We'll take the damn refrigerator off. We try to get it through the door. Obviously, it's not going to fit through the damn door. Like you live in a shoebox. Like why are you buying this? Then we got to take the door off. Then we got to take windows off. We damn near got to take the entire trailer apart just to get this refrigerator in. We finally get the refrigerator in, and then they say, "Hey, we don't like it because it's scratched up." So we got to. Let me stop.
Hey, let's just give a shout out to all of those Lowe's employees who have to deliver furniture and appliances and whatnot, because that sounds miserable. You might as well at that point just put the refrigerator down on the floor and deconstruct the house and then rebuild it on top of the refrigerator. That's probably the easier bet.
We used to do that too. But like we'll do that. Then once we do that, we'll figure out, oh, you missing this piece, you missing that piece. Now we got to put the house back together and put the refrigerator back on the truck and take it back to the store anyway.
Yeah, because you don't want it. That's crazy.
You don't want it no more.
Well, I'll tell you, when I did work at Lowe's, I got one of those nice the camo vest.
I wasn't lucky enough. I wasn't good enough to get the camo vest. It was for the top performers, apparently.
That was for veterans and military people. They gave me a camo one, and it was great because I was, like I said, an E3 in the Navy, right? I was a plumber for a week and a half. So these grown ass men with like plaster and all, and I'm like, damn, this guy's like, he knows what he's doing. And he'll come up to me and be like, you got a 3/4 sweat valve with a double and I'm like, he's like, never mind. But since I had the camouflage vest, it kind of like helped me like blend in. You know what I mean? So like people wouldn't realize I actually worked at Lowe's. It was great. And then I had obviously like, no matter what job you work in, there's like a chain of command, right? So you have people who have been there for so long where you're like, I was like, yo, Oscar, this guy needs something. And then my buddy would come over and like help us out. Funny story actually with the military is so when I was working at Lowe's, you know how you need to, kind of like in the military, like you have to like be let go for the day. Like they tell you like when you can go home or whatever. So my first like official shift, and I might have told this story already, but who cares? You never heard it. My first official shift there, I was working the closing shift, so we closed at like 11 o'clock. Like 10:55, I'm like, okay, like it's almost time to like, leave. Store's almost closed. So I start like cleaning up, I'm sweeping all like the lanes and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, now what? It's 11 o'clock. No one told me I can go home yet. 11:10. I'm still sweeping. I'm still cleaning. I'm looking around. I'm like, well, no one told me I can go home yet. 11:30 comes around. Like all of like the night crew comes in to like stock everything. I'm like, and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, no one told me I can go home yet. And they're like, what? Whatever. The manager comes around and it's like 11:40 and she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, no one told me I can go home yet. She's like, this is not the military. When it's 11 o'clock, you go home. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I was like, I didn't fucking know. Yeah.
40 minutes late. Appreciate you.
I mean, I still got paid for it, so it's all good.
Good.
Yeah, 100%, man. Easy day. So, do you have anything that you want to give to my community or offer to my community or anybody listening that I haven't asked you already?
Let's see, man. For all my young people out there, keep your head up.
Yep.
Keep your head up. This military life is gonna get crazy. I can let you know that right now. I've only been in for almost 5 years, and I've been on a roller coaster ride ever since I've been there. Man, keep your head up. Find you a mentor. You do not think that you have to go through these things alone. There are people who are going through these same situations. Just go out there and try to find them, man. I know it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to be brave. You're gonna have to be brave. Everything's not gonna come to you. You're gonna have to get out there and kind of get it. Don't be scared to make mistakes. That's another big one. Don't be scared to make mistakes. I made a lot of them. Surround yourself with good people. What else?
You tell me.
Make sure your uniforms are nice. Make sure your uniforms are nice and pressed. You only get one time to make a good. You can only get one time to make a first impression. I learned that too. I never forget. I was in tech school and I went to class. My uniforms were screwed up because I woke up late. I was a mess. So my uniforms were screwed up. Got there, my instructor was like, "You like a bag ass. Go back and fix it now." And ever since then, like from that day to the day I graduated, he always called me a bag ass. It didn't matter how my uniforms looked. He always called me a bag ass. And then the day I graduated, he was like, "The reason I called you a bag ass, I saw you that you improved, but the reason I called you a bag ass because that was my first impression of you when you first came to me.
Damn.
And you only get one time to make a first impression. And you might not be lucky enough to see that person again so they can have a different, perspective of you. So that's why I kept calling you a bag ass. So you can know that whenever you meet somebody, do not be a bag ass." I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah. It's a good nickname to have for however long your school is.
Yeah, you can call me, like, bro, you can call me, so you call me a bag ass to prove a point? Like, what, what was that?
I mean, I can think of I can think of a lot worse nicknames to have than bag of ass. So
I got chopped in the throat one time by a Marine. I was drinking water. Completely off topic. I was drinking water one time, and there's a female Marine instructor. She came up. She was like, "Taylor, watch this." And she kind of like chopped me right there, and like I started choking. She's like, oh my god, are you okay?" I'm like, "Bitch, I almost died. Like, what do you mean, am I okay?"
I'm drowning. I'm not in the Navy. The fuck? Yeah.
Like, I can't breathe. She's like, "Oh my god, don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody." I'm like, "I'm about to call the police on you. Like, what are you talking about?" Moral of the story: Marines are crazy.
Yeah, they are. They're probably the funnest group of people to be doing dumb shit with, though. I'll tell you that. They can make fun out of everything. They can have I have so many stories about just Marines doing dumb shit where I'm like, damn, that looks so funny, but I'm not trying that.
There was a brawl one time. We got into a brawl with the Marines. Yeah, the tech schools, Air Force, Army, Marines, and Navy. We all went to the same class together. Some Marine guy said something to an Air Force guy. So quite naturally, we got to stand up for each other, right? So we were at the Old Alley of all places on the weekend. We went there. The Air Force guy pointed out, "Hey, that's the guy that did X, Y, and Z." We went up. Now the guy went up. "Hey, why did you?" Marine came back. Boom. Knocked the Air Force guy. Let me back up. It's not my fight.
Damn, yeah.
He came in, hey, why did you? Oh, let me back my ass up. It's not my fight. I let them take care of it. I was just refereeing. I was, giving point like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. So wild times.
Hey, man, do you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Man, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. For real. Again, man, I just want to thank you
Of
because
course.
I didn't think nobody was watching these videos. And when you reached
I
out to
was.
me,
I was, man.
bro, when you reached out to me, I was like, damn, like I'm actually, making some sort of impact, man. So I was like, brother, appreciate you for having me on, man. You keep doing your thing, brother. I love your videos. I love how you're getting out and you're giving people like me platforms.
Yeah.
You're giving people like me platforms that we wouldn't get from any other people. And I just want
Yeah.
to say, brother, thank you. I salute you. I don't know if anybody's giving you your flowers yet. I just want to give you your flowers now. And
I appreciate it.
when you hit 1 million followers, don't forget about it.
Hey, my table will never be small. My table always big, man. There's always room for people at my table. Don't you
All right,
worry.
all right, cool. I'm gonna ask you $5.
Oh, hey, I'm asking you $5. All right, bro. Thank you very much, bro. Hey, I appreciate you. Everything you're doing, keep going, man. Even though, I even tell myself all the time, if I look at one of my videos and I got one like, there's probably 1,000 views behind it. Just
Right.
people took that knowledge and ran away with it. That's it, man. Like, not everything's about likes and follows. Everything's about what you're doing and just getting your voice out there. You make 100 videos. If you change one person's life, that's what it's about. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir.
It's about us and our community. So I just want to say
Yeah.
thank you for the bottom of my heart, man. I really do appreciate you coming out here. And if you don't
Appreciate
have
it, brother.
anything for me, I'm gonna let you go enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man.
Of course, man. Freedom Empire. Until next one.
Yes, sir.
Easy day. Views presented are those of the speaker, and the guest do not necessarily represent the views of the Department of Defense or its components. Neither the Department of Defense or its components bears any responsibility for the accuracy, legality, or content of the views discussed on this podcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into this.